Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Cassie and today we're going to be talking about disappointing products or products that did not work for me. These are things that I have accumulated over the last couple months really. There are a lot of products here, so I'm going to try not to talk too much, but I do want to be somewhat descriptive so I can explain why I didn't like them. I did decide I am going to start having timestamps in the description box, so in case there's a particular product that brought you here to this video, you can look in the description box and go straight to that product. The first product I really cannot stand. This is so horrible, and this is the L'Oreal Extraordinary Clay Dry Shampoo. And I was really excited about this. I don't know why, but with the clay and a spray claim, I just thought it was going to really absorb my oils. It does say that there is no visible residue, and I do agree with that. There is no residue with this, but you guys, you're literally spraying oil into your hair. Like, my hair is 10 times oilier when I use this. I promise you, do not waste your money on this. I love the Batiste Dry Shampoo, which I have one right here that's going in my empties video, but this is the Batiste Dry Shampoo. They're $8 a can, I think. You get 6.73 fluid ounces in this one particularly, and you can get them at Ulta. I get them at my local Walmart. They're really great. This one sucks. Sorry, L'Oreal, but I really hope you reformulate this because this is really horrible. It's like the worst dry shampoo I've ever tried in my life. The next product is a foundation. I have two foundations, but the first one is the Borjois Air Mat Foundation. I filmed a review, or I started to film a review on this the other day, and I was like, I literally cannot post this footage. It is definitely matte like it claims to be, but it's so matte that it's gonna make your face look dry. You can be as oily as a McDonald's cheeseburger and this is still gonna make your face look dry and disgusting. I mean, maybe this is one that you can mix in with a foundation that doesn't stay matte long enough for you, but like honestly, I don't even see myself getting any use out of this product. It was like $16 on Amazon. Not only is it super dry looking on the skin, but this is the lightest shade. This is 01 Rose Ivory, and it oxidizes so bad. I'm gonna go ahead and just put a swatch on my hand right now, just so we can see. By the end of the video, or even just in a couple minutes, you will see that it's oxidized. Right off the bat, this is very orange, and it did say that it is high coverage, and I don't agree with that. And this may be full coverage on someone else, but for me, who has a lot of acne and scarring to cover, it is not. I tried to build this up and it did not work. It dries down to a powder finish and it sets very quickly. So if you try to build this up, it's gonna look really horrible because it's like putting a liquid on top of a powder. So it's just really bad for me. It does not work. The coverage is bad. It's too dry. It's too matte. I cannot stand it. The other foundation that I have is the Ulta Double Duty Primer and Foundation. This is in Classic Ivory, and I think this is the lightest shade, and it says medium to full coverage foundation combines silicone and soft focus complex that is used in foundation primers to smooth, mattify, and provide lasting coverage. This does not look good on the skin because of the texture of it, which is very silicone-y. I mean, that's that silicone primer that's mixed in. It leaves brush strokes on the skin when you use a brush, and that's even if you like stipple it on. So you definitely have to use a sponge with this, and I just found that it blends out really weird. I lose all the coverage. It doesn't build very well. If you want to see this in action, I did do a review, like a full review on the Ulta brand, and this is a foundation I used in that video. I'll put it up in the cards over here if you want to check it out and see it in action. It is extremely thick.
Just watch this. This is sickening. Oh my god, that's disgusting.
All right, let's move on into powders because I have a lot of powders and I was really shocked by how similar a lot of these were. I'm going to talk about these next two together. This is the Physicians Formula Mineral Wear Mineral Loose Powder. It is talc free. This is the translucent light. They have translucent light, medium, translucent dark. I don't know. They have a bunch of different colors, so it's not truly translucent. So it's like, take that out of the name. Like, don't even say it's translucent. Just say it's light because it's not translucent. It just makes no sense to me. Like, what is the point in that? Just say it's light. Anyway, this is pretty dark. I can appreciate the packaging because it has this little thing that covers, so when you take the lid off, the powder doesn't go everywhere. But other than that, I mean, look at this bulky packaging. There was a stupid little brush in here that I would never use. I'm sorry, Physicians Formula. Like, please know, I don't hate these brands. Almost every single brand in this video that I'm going to mention has products that are literally my holy grails. The other powder that I want to talk about along with this one is the Model's Own Grand Finale Loose Powder, and this is in the shade Translucent, and yet again, this is not translucent at all. I did use this in a video, my full face of first impressions, I believe, or one of them, but I'll put it up in the cards if you want to see this in action. You can really see just how dark this is. The foundation that I was using in that video is very light, so it looks hella dark, but it actually does match my skin tone. So for that reason, I could use this to set my face, but for baking, this is not going to work for you. It does look quite heavy if you bake with it, and when I use this in my video, I do mention that it does make my skin look a lot smoother, and it did, but it got heavier more that I put on, so you don't, like I said, want to use this to bake, and it got darker when I put more and more on. So if I did use this, it would have to be with a very light hand with a big, not very dense brush, but because it's not very mattifying, there's really no point in this product for me. When I use a loose powder, I want to use it to pretty much bake or apply quite a bit to certain areas that I want to prevent creasing and stuff, and that I want to stay matte throughout the day. And because this doesn't do any of those things, and because it looks too heavy when I use too much of it, it's just pointless. So for a powder that I'm going to use to set my entire face, I want it to be a pressed powder, not a loose powder. And so this is just, it doesn't work for me, but it may work for other people. But please keep in mind it's not translucent, and it is the only shade that Model Zone carries in that particular product. So then back to this one, this is pretty much the same thing. It's dark. You cannot use it to bake. It actually seemed like it made me get oilier faster than I usually do. It can get darker if you apply too many layers of it, which, I mean, it's a loose powder, so what's the point? If I can't use a lot of it, then I don't want to use it, because loose powder should be buildable and it shouldn't get cakey, because typically people want to use loose powder for baking. So that's just my opinion. The other loose powder that I have is the LA Girl Pro Powder. This is their HD or high definition setting powder, and this is in translucent, and they do have a banana version. This product is very finely milled. Like, it literally is like dust. This made me look so dry, like even in places that I don't typically look dry, like in my T-zone where I get very oily, I looked dry in those areas all day. It emphasized all my little tiny fine lines that I didn't even know existed on my face. And it felt very heavy. It felt very dry on my skin. I just did not like this at all. I really wish that it worked, because it's very affordable. And I know that a lot of people like this. Like Casey Holmes raves about the banana shade in this. She really likes it, but I did not like this particular product. The next powders that we're gonna talk about, these are all pressed powders. And 3 of them I'm gonna talk about at once, because they're all like literally the same exact thing. So I have the OFRA pressed powder, oil control, the Wet n Wild mattifying powder, and the Catrice Prime and Fine mattifying powder. And this is OFRA, this is Wet n Wild, and this is the Catrice. All of these are supposed to be transparent mattifying powders. So to me, these are powders that I would use, that I would keep in my bag with my blotting papers, and I would use when I'm on the go. If I have had my makeup on for a while and I'm going to be very busy that day and very active, I would blot when I needed to, and then I would apply these powders to help keep me from getting oily. Because they're transparent, they're good for that, because they're not going to make you look cakey, because they're not adding any coverage to your skin. So these would be great for that, but they're not. For one, this OFRA one is horrible. I got this in a BoxyCharm, and it's so chalky, it's so patchy. Like, I don't understand this product, and I don't know if you can see in that swatch, there is going to be flashback with this. You can tell on camera. It leaves a white cast, so for that reason, I don't think this is going to work on anyone except for very, very pale people. Same thing with this Wet n Wild one. I used this the other day, and I didn't mind it. I blotted, and then I applied this just in my T-zone, and I noticed that within like less than an hour, I was already really oily, and I looked very cakey. This is like truly transparent. And the other one that I also mentioned in this group is the Catrice one, and this does not work at all, you guys. There is going to be some color to this product, but because I am quite fair, when I use this, I didn't notice. I used this one day when I was at a dance competition, and I'd had my makeup on for a while, and I knew I was going out later, and I wanted to just freshen my face up without having to take it off and just completely redo it. I blotted my skin where I was very oily, and then I went in and applied this on my T-zone mainly, because that is where I get very oily, or very noticeably oily. Within less than an hour, I was oily again. And typically I can just blot and leave it alone, and I won't get oily that fast, but I don't know, like this just does not work. It's mattifying, so to me, it should be controlling my oils, you know, to some degree. I don't expect it to keep me matte for 8 hours or anything, but I mean, I definitely expect it to keep me matte for at least 2 or 3 hours, especially if I blot before I apply this. So because of that, I do not like this product. The next powder that I want to talk about is the e.l.f. I think it's the tone correcting powder in the shade Cool. So this is just, like it says, a tone correcting powder. Because it has the pink and the green and the blue and the yellow, it's supposed to be color correcting. I'm sorry if my light keeps blinding you with these mirrors, but I wanted to use this to set my under eye. I'm looking for a powder that is pretty much white, which this, when you swatch it, pretty much ends up being white. I tried to use this for that, and it does not work. It's the formula of it. It's drying, and it's chalky, and it does not work under my eyes at all. It emphasizes all of my fine lines on my under eye, and it doesn't really brighten my under eye. Like, it did brighten it, but in like a patchy, not cute way. Like, you know what I mean? It was not good. I don't like it. Sorry, elf. Okay, so the next powder that I want to talk about is the BH Cosmetics Matte Finish Pressed Powder in the shade 205. And the reason that I got this is because in the comments on BH Cosmetics website, a lot of people were saying that this is a dupe for the MAC Studio Fix powder. It's not marketed as the same thing as the MAC Studio Fix powder is. And for that reason, I was kind of unsure about it, but I mean, the packaging is literally like the exact same. For one, this shade is way too light. This feels very creamy to the touch when you swatch it, but it's very powdery. I don't know if you saw that powder fall. And it's just not cute. Like, this is very patchy on the skin. I've applied this in many different ways. I used it as a powder foundation, not good at all, and it's not just the shade. Like, the coverage was not building well. It was looking very dry on my skin. It looked really bad and patchy. I also used it to set my entire face with my kabuki brush that I always use to set my face with pressed powders, and it looked very patchy. And then I also used it with a less dense brush to apply it, like lightly sweep it across my face to set my foundation. Still didn't work. I tried to use it to set my under eyes just because it is so light. Still didn't work. It looked very dry and patchy, and it's just a really, really bad powder. I can't see this working for any other reason. Like, what else could I possibly try this with? And like, what other method could I possibly use? This is the Hard Candy Glitterazi palette. This is their glitter gel palette, and excuse all of the dug-in holes. That would be my daughter. She was literally eating this the other day. So yeah, I walked out of the room for 5 seconds and she was eating freaking glitter. So anyways, this is literally Vaseline. That's all I got. Little tiny bit of glitter and Vaseline. These feel so greasy. Like, I've never applied these to my eye, and I won't because they feel so disgusting. I've applied them to like different parts of my arm and my hand and just kind of let them sit there to see if they would maybe set and kind of just dry down, and they don't. There's just not enough glitter payoff, and I've even applied these to my hand and then tried to build them. They do not build and give you that opaque glitter finish. None of these shades do. They all feel extremely Vaseline-y, and some give you more glitter payoff than others, but none of them are buildable, and there's just no point. Like, I would much rather use a glitter glue or a glitter primer and my loose glitter, that my NYX Face and Body glitter. I love those. Those are really good. This just doesn't make sense to me. It's disgusting. So I cannot see this working at all for any reason. So I can't stand that product. And Hard Candy makes my favorite primer, so I'm sorry, Hard Candy. Love your little primer stick. It's amazing, but that product is a no-no. The next couple products that I want to talk about are from Physicians Formula. They are both blushes. One is their Magic Mosaic Multicolored Custom Blush in Soft Rose, and the other is their Powder Palette Multicolored Blush in Blushing Peach. And this is the Blushing Peach, and then this is the Soft Rose. So I just thought these were really pretty. They are actually on clearance at my local Walmart for $5 a piece, and they're regularly $13 a piece. So I thought that was a really great deal, and I thought I would just try them. I don't think I've ever tried Physicians Formula blushes before, so these are just really bad. There's like no color payoff at all. The pink one, the rose one, feels very dry. This is the rose, that's the peach, and like I said, the pink one, the rose one, is very dry when you swatch it. The formula is horrible. I tried to build these up and they do not build at all. I really don't think that I got two duds because they're two completely different blushes, two completely different formulas, and they both are really bad. So I have a lot of things from Physicians Formula that I absolutely love, and those are not one of them. All right, let's move into lips. This is the Covergirl Outlast lip stain, and this is so freaking weird. I don't even know why I got this because I am not one for lip stain. This is just weird. It's literally a freaking marker for your lips, and it literally is a lip stain. Like, there's not a lot of pigment to this. It looks like a stain when you apply it, so if you like lip stains, maybe you would like it for that. The scent is so weird. It's like a very berry-like scent. It's very fruity. I mean, the scent doesn't bother me too much, but if you are sensitive to scents, you're not gonna like it at all. This lasts okay on the lips. I mean, I'm just not crazy about it. I really built this up so you could get like the opaque color of it, but it still doesn't quite match the color of the tube. Like, this looks, you know, kind of mauve-y to me, but it is just straight up like really weird brown color. It doesn't matter how much you build it. So I just really don't like it, but I also don't like lip stains, so I can't stand that product. This next thing is the Revlon Colorstay Ultimate Liquid Lipstick. This is not a liquid lipstick at all. For one, it's not opaque at all, and it's really weird. Like, you can't build the color. I mean, I don't mind a liquid lipstick that isn't very opaque as long as I can layer it or just kind of build it to get that color that I need. You know, some really dark lipsticks just need to be layered. This, you can't layer. Like, the color will just move around, as you can see. and it does that no matter how long it sits on the skin. It's just very liquidy. It's a very strange formula. It's very thin. It does not dry down. It stays glossy. It feels very wet. And I just can't stand it. It's really, really bad. Oh, I have a primer to talk about, which let's go ahead and do that. I should have done that closer to the beginning. This is the Model's Own Face-Based Face Primer, the mattifying version. There's like hydrating and color correcting, and I don't know if that's it, but this is the mattifying version. It is very silicone-y, and I use this in my Full Face of First Impressions as well, which I've already put in the card, so I'll have it down below as well. But you can check this out. In the video, I did say that I thought it was working because it took me like an hour and a half to finish applying my makeup after I applied this to my skin. It seemed like the side I used it on was less oily looking than the other, so for that reason I thought it was working, but literally within a couple hours after that, my entire face was just as oily as it usually is, if not oilier. So this does not mattify your skin at all. It's just really horrible. I have some mattifying primers from the drugstore that do work that are less than this. I think it's like 13 bucks, so I just don't like this. It doesn't work. Next, I have two eyelash products. The first one is a mascara, and this is the Ulta Beauty Amped Lashes Mascara. Now, I really love the packaging on this. I think it's just really nice. Like, it looks and it feels very high-end. This is just not that great. I mean, the product, it's not even the formula, but it's the wand. Like, look at the applicator. It's so flimsy. Like, when I'm trying to put it back in, it like I feel like I'm gonna break the applicator off. It's very great at separating your lashes, but it doesn't give you volume or length. So it literally just separates your lashes. The other thing that I have is the Catrice Cosmetics Lash Boost Lash Extension Fibers, and I also use this in a video. It was my full face of Catrice Cosmetics, and this does nothing. I love these fiber systems for your lashes. I have one from Wet n Wild that was in my underrated makeup products video. I'll put up in the cards over here. You get the mascara and the fibers with it in two separate tubes. This is just the fibers. I'm assuming you're supposed to just use it with your favorite mascara, which is what I've done, and I tried it a couple times and it just never works for me. This doesn't do anything for my eyelashes except for maybe clump them up. The other eye product that I have is an eyeliner, and this is by Essence. It's their Superfine eyeliner pen. I thought that it was going to be promising because the applicator comes to a nice start point, but it doesn't have like any product on the tip of it. If you just lightly apply it, it barely comes off, so it's really hard to get that nice, precise, sharp wing. I actually couldn't get a sharp wing with this. It's not very black, and it's also not matte either. It's like settling in the lines on my arm. Hopefully you can see that. So for that reason, it is going to bleed, so it's just not a good eyeliner. There are lots of other ones from the drugstore that are much better. Okay, the last product that I want to talk about is the Revlon Photoready Eye Art. I actually used it in a video as well, which I will put up in the cards, and you have to check it out so you can see exactly what this did to me. In that video, I used this side first, which is a nice metallic eyeshadow, and it's really, really gorgeous. I love the color, and it's very nice and metallic, and it does dry down. And then after that set, I went over top of it with the glitter end, and it has a little brush tip, and there is the glitter. I can't even see what's happening, so hopefully you can see that. So the glitter side is not extremely opaque, like the cream side is very opaque, but I did put 2 layers of the glitter on in that video, and after like an hour or two, I don't remember how long it was, the inner part of my eye was literally like peeling off, and by the end of the night I was able to completely peel every bit of product off of my eyelid, and it felt very tight, and I think that was the glitter part felt very tight and uncomfortable on my lid. So I haven't actually tried either side of this product on its own. Maybe this would be okay if you used each product on its own. I don't think I would like the glitter because, like I said, I know it was the glitter that was making my eyelid feel very uncomfortable and very tight. I think that the metallic side may work, so I don't know. It still hasn't quite set yet. I think it's very beautiful, so I wouldn't mind trying that again to see if maybe it was just the glitter liner that was making it peel, because maybe you just can't layer this. But when you buy a system like this, I would assume that it's something that you can layer. Like, why would you sell it together like this if you can't use them at the same time? But if you have tried this and used it in a different way, let me know, because I could just be using it wrong. So it was totally unintentional that everything in this video ended up being drugstore. That doesn't mean that all drugstore products are bad, because they're really not. I have a ton of drugstore products that I love, and I will tell you right now that 75% of my collection is drugstore, and most of them I am obsessed with. I always end up having a lisp at some point in my videos. Oh, before I forget, Let's swatch or re-swatch this Borjois foundation so I can show you how much it has oxidized. I really hope that this shows. Can you see just how orange this is? Thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and if it was helpful for you. And don't forget to subscribe and make sure you hit that little bell down there next to the subscribe button if you want to be notified every time that I upload a new video. I do upload 3 times a week, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Love you guys. Bye.